are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just
Happy Friday.
happy Friday. It's finally Friday after a crazy week.
After a really long week, it was like one of our biggest weeks because of the March 2nd deadline.
All the deadlines and minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's recap for our friends. Oh my God, am I Mr. Rogers? March 2nd is the priority deadline for the FAFSA and the California DREAM Act application.
Yes.
Meaning everybody is encouraged to submit it by March 2nd to be considered for as much aid as possible.
It is open all year round, but
yes,
it is encouraged that March 2nd is our deadline if you want to qualify for extra money.
Yeah. And then at SRJC, we have our, go ahead, you.
Oh, sorry. And then it aligns with our scholarships as well. So I know that's Lauren's baby right there because she is mainly the scholarships. So
no, but we offer, over like 600 scholarships, and we had a cycle that was just open for our current students, and we had a really good amount of students submit their applications on time, March 2nd. And so we're really excited by the submissions, and that just means that we're going to be able to award that many more students, because the fact is we have we have so many scholarships that go unawarded because we don't get enough applicants.
Yeah. Well, aren't we, because ours is like foundation scholarships, right? So
these are funds from the community, donors within the community, people that believe in our students, that want to see them succeed and grow. And, we've got so many students that are deserving, but often they just don't apply, or they, don't think that they're worthy or eligible. I've talked to way too many students who have said that they just didn't think that they, they just didn't think they'd qualify. So they just simply didn't apply. And that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. It really is, because I feel like it's just so easy to be like, oh, I don't have the grades, or I don't have this. But it's like, the cool thing about our scholarship applications that it's just one application that you get to just fill out one, and then just by filling that one application, you are eligible for all sorts of scholarships that you didn't even think you'd be eligible for.
Yeah.
So I think that's so awesome how easy we've made it, where instead of applying to like 10 different ones or having to look which one might be a scholarship for you, you just do one application.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
Yeah,
but
I think for a lot of students, it's always like the fear of filling out applications, where it's like, am I gonna get this right? But the cool thing is that during those weeks, we're always available, and it's always nice that we have that availability to be there for students.
Yeah.
Especially now that we can be doing, our Zoom hours, where we're kind of that one-on-one feel, and then, slowly transitioning over to in-person appointments so we can be able to help them as well.
Right. And actually, you reminded me, like we are going back in person, or we're offering, scheduled advanced appointments, but Zoom appointments, Zoom meetings, they're here to stay. That's not going anywhere. I think that is normal for us now. And boy, every time I meet with a student, I try to ask them, like, if you had a choice right now, would you want to keep meeting virtually, or would you want to come in person? And 100% of the time they're asking to join virtually. So it's exciting to now be able to offer both and stay connected even when we're not physically in person.
And I always love to tell students, I'm like, if you want a financial aid technician, join us on Zoom, because both of those are great. We are obviously always on the phone as part of like what we do, but having that virtual time where we set aside that 2-hour window where there is a student worker as well as a technician there for you to just drop in between, either we have it 10 to 12 and 2 to 4, where we are dedicated to that time.
That's right.
And if you want to talk to somebody, I always tell students, like, I had a presentation on Monday, and I was like, you want somebody like right then there, go through Zoom, because both are great, but they're a little bit more challenging sometimes to answer all of, coming in at once.
Yeah, you're right. And like you said, it's a dedicated time. Like we're committed to that.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just remembering that I didn't add that, we just passed our scholarship application deadline, March 2nd. But our application opens every fall and every spring. So, everybody out there who's been enticed, by that as an opportunity, just remember that that's it's a scholarship application that's open every fall and every spring. And, if you've received one in the past, you can continue to receive them every time you're here at SRJC, or even when you transfer. We have a lot of awards that students can take with them to their next school of study.
That's so awesome
rare.
and so helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, the scholarships that we have. I think sometimes we forget that aside from filling out your FAFSA, where that can possibly get you some type of free money, or even, I always tell students, I'm like, even if it's like the California Promise Grant, the tuition fee waiver, like that's already a huge help, even if that's the only thing that sometimes we qualify for. I always use myself as an example where it's like, on paper, it looks like I make great money, but reality is that cost of living here is always a little bit more expensive. But I felt very lucky when I applied. I didn't think I was going to get anything. I was like, but let me just apply. I work for financial aid. I should be an example and apply. I did, and then I ended up getting the California Promise Grant, the Promise Grantee. So that was just so helpful. And I think that there's a lot of missed opportunities just because sometimes we put in our head like we're not going to get anything.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And I try to remind students that if you don't ask, the answer will always be no.
Yeah.
So, we are here as a resource for our students. We believe in our students. We've been reminding students our new tagline that you matter, your education matters, and your financial aid matters. It's a whole bundle. It's a cycle. It all loops together, and that's why we're here. And this opportunity to visit and connect. This is what we're planning to do and share with our community, and we'll be inviting other friends from other departments.
Yes.
Throughout the district, and our other students to share.
Students. It's always fun to get student feedback, just because it's easy to connect with students. I mean, we can connect with students as well being here. It's always nice to hear from other students that are possibly experiencing the same thing, and it's like, hey, I can relate to that. So we want to make this a welcoming to all departments and all students on campus who want to share their story.
Yeah, perfect. You're right. That's well said.
Yeah.
Well, here's to that.
Cheers. I don't have my cup today. Cheers.
Yeah.
And then just a reminder that even though March 2nd deadline has passed already, it does not mean you cannot apply for FAFSA or the California DREAM Act application. That's the great thing about those applications is you can apply all year round and, still qualify for something. So don't let it's past March 2nd discourage you. Still apply, because again, you never know what you can qualify for.
Yeah. And with that, we'll see you all next time. Thanks, Tina.